So why do you need arrays? So basically, we have variable concept to store the data. Then why do we need arrays? So variables, what data you can store? Any idea?
Store the similar data.
Yeah, that's good. Only single data you can store in the variables. But if you want to store multiple data, multiple elements or multiple sets of data, if you want to store, then we need another concept, right? That is arrays. So if you want to store different elements, maybe same data type, right? Single type of data only it accepts, but you can store multiple elements. That is possible with arrays concept. But in the variable, you can store only one value. Any type of data, you can store only one value only. But here, you can store multiple values in the arrays of single type of data. So that is why we need arrays concept. And also, it saves the memory basically, and optimization will be there. Because instead of storing multiple sets of data, for example, I want to store integer 10 values. I have to write int I equal to 10, int I2 equal to 20, int I3 equal, like that, multiple lines you have to write. So it's a waste of space and everything, right? Instead of that, so you can store all the values with array concept. So single array, you can store multiple values. And that's the array. So basically, array is another non-primitive data type. So as I told, data types, we have a primitive and non-primitive data types. So array comes under non-primitive data types. And so to iterate these arrays, we are going to use for each loop. Or iterate not only arrays, even collections also, we will use for each loop. So can we use normal for loop? Yes, you can use a normal for loop also to iterate the arrays and collections. But another easy one is there is a for each loop. The for each loop syntax is for bracket. So data type of the collection or array, the some variable name, colon, array name or collection name you can give. So then write your logic inside the, so this curly brackets, that's a body of the for each loop. And so it is only iterates in forward direction only. So that means, okay, so in this array, so many elements will be there. And this variable represent the each element of this array or collection. That's a for each loop. I'll show you that while iterating the arrays. So let's jump onto the arrays deeply and how you can declare array. So how you can create the array objects and how to iterate that with a for loop, for each loop. How can you reverse an array? So all these points let's understand that. So basically, array is used to store a group of similar kind of elements. Array is used to store a group of elements of similar kind of elements. Like only integers, you can store multiple integer values. If you want to store string values, multiple string values you can store. So that's the array concept. So array works based on the index. So array works based on the index only. So you can randomly pick up the elements also because of this index concept. And if you see this diagram, see always array first element will be in the 0 index. This index doesn't change. The values can be anything, but index doesn't change. So that's the square bracket is used to represent the arrays. So index first 0 means the first element. Index 1 means second element. Index 2 means third element. So like that, you can give the multiple elements in the array. And so this is how you can create an array. So data type, array symbol. So there is a square bracket is the array symbol. Array name equal to new. So data type and square bracket inside you will give the size. So here mandatory thing is you have to specify the size. How many elements you want to store, and you have to declare the size. While creating the array itself, you have to declare the size. This is called array length or array size, we call this. And always array size is fixed. 100 means you can store only 100 names in this array. So not more than that. That means, so 0 to 99, that's the index range. Why 0 to 99? But because you are giving 100, right? Why it is 0 to 99? 0, 1. So 1 to 99 is 99. 0 is the plus 1, right? Another element, 100 elements. So that's why you have to give 0 to 99 only indexes. You should not give 100th index. If you give 100th index, you will get an exception here. So array doesn't insert 101 element. So that is the fixed size. Once you declare the size, you cannot change. That's why array is a fixed size of elements, and it works based on the index numbers, and you can randomly access the array elements because of the index. That's the main reason. So you can retrieve randomly wherever you want. See, if I want -45, I just need to give this index number. That is array name square bracket 4. That's how you can give array concept. Okay, so that is how this array works. And advantages is code optimization. As I mentioned, variables, if you want to declare 100, it takes a lot of space, right? So that's the main drawback with variables. But with arrays, you can insert all the elements in array in one memory, and you can access them randomly because of index concept. It works based on the index only. And disadvantage is the size limit is there. So you can only store fixed size of elements. So if you declare 5, only 5 elements you can store in the array. So not more than that. Runtime you cannot increase the size. It won't collapse. If you want to do like that, a dynamic size, you should not use arrays. You have to go for collections. That we'll discuss later, collections. That's the disadvantage with arrays. So as I mentioned, to solve this size limit issue, you can use a collection framework to automatically increases and decreases the value. That is possible with collections. You don't need to fix the size there. You don't need to mention the size. You can just create the collection, and you can add how many elements you want, and then you can easily to add or remove. Both you can do with collections. But arrays, once you fix the size, you cannot increase the size. You cannot decrease the size. That's a fixed size. That's why there's a bigger problem with arrays. So how to declare array variables? So you have to declare array variables using this concept. Data type, square bracket, array name, semicolon. So that's the declaring array variables. So data type, square bracket, array name, so semicolon. So that's how you can declare array variable. But where you can assign the value? To assign the value, again you have to use this array variable. This is called array variable. Array variable. equal to, and you can give the object. So it can be, a data type can be any type of primitive or non-primitive. So it can be integer, character, double, byte. Those are the primitive, right? And we have a non-primitive also. Non-primitive like strings, even. So whatever the data type, your custom Java objects. So those things also you can use here in the data type place. And so let me show you that how to assign. These are all the declaration, just creating the array variable. Int array list, string fruits, rectangle boxes. So this is the array list. Arrays how to create. Then assigning them is, this is how you can do that. See, declaring an array is, this is the format. Data type, array, so array variable. Then allocate the memory for this array variable is data equal to new data type, square bracket inside, you mention the size. So this is how you can do that. If you don't want 2 lines, you can do in single line like this. Double array. So array symbol is mandatory. Square bracket you have to use. Data equal to new double this one. So that's how to create an array object. And here I have given all the formats, 3 formats. So one is data type, square bracket, array name equal to new data type size. Or, so data type, array name, square bracket equal to new data type size. Or third one is data type, array name, square bracket equal to new data type. And you can mention all the elements also. So you can declare array element, but here you didn't declare the, you didn't assign the values. Here you are assigning the values also. This is the third option also you can use. Or otherwise, just this one, and you can use this curly bracket inside all the elements. So I'll show you in the subsequent topics. So this one, list, new integer 10. That means 10 elements you can store in this list array. Fruits equal to new string of 5. That means 5 fruits of type string you can store in this fruits array. Boxes. So there are 5 rectangle boxes you can store, 4 rectangle boxes you can store in this array. So here is the example. So int marks equal to new int 5. That means 5 elements. See, first element always starts with 0 index. That is, index is fixed. So always if you want to fetch the first element, you have to use array name of 0 index. If you want last index, always see the size -1. If you do, you will get a last element index. The size -1, if you do, you will get a last element index. These are the 2 fixed formulas you can use wherever you want to use. First element, always use 0 index. If you want to represent a last index, last element index, you write size -1. Basically array dot length -1. That's the formula. You can use that formula if you want to represent a last element index. So very easy to remember that, array length -1. So if you do that, you will get a last element index. So we don't know, right? Sometimes, bigger size is there. You don't need to hard code that. Just write array dot length -1. You'll get the last element index. So this is another way to initialize, as I mentioned, right? With directly you can assign the values. So double square bracket prices equal to 10.5, 20.1, 14, 39. So these are the 5 double values we are storing. We are assigning the values also. You separate each element with a comma. So that represents a different value. And another one, so int square bracket is equal to, see, declaring and initializing the array. So you declared the array and you're assigning the value. That's declaring and assigning the values. And we have, see, if you want to print them, This is the array name, right? Array name of 0. That is the first element. You can assign also values. You can modify also once you know creating the array. So this is how you can assign the value. 12 I am assigning to first position. That is 12 will store here. So array name is 1 means 4 will store in the first second index. Array of 2 is 5. Like that you can store all 5 elements. So this you should not give A's of 5. A's of 5 if you give, that's going to throw an error. So you should not use array name of the last number. The number is the 5 number. You should not use. That's it will throw array index out of bounds exception. So what exception you will get? So if you give array name of 5, it will throw array index out of bounds exception. It will throw. Why? Because so there are 5 elements. That means 0 to 4 only. If you give age of 5 means that is the 6th element. The memory itself is not created for the 6th element. So that means you are putting outside the memory, outside the array concept. So that is the reason it is going to give you array index out of bounds exception. So make sure. So always you follow the size -1 only. You can give index numbers. Starts with a 0 index and ends with array size -1. Array size is 5 - 1, 4 here. So array indices always starts from 0. And if the size of the array is n, so the last element index will be n - 1. That's a formula. This formula, you remember it. Any questions?
No, Ramesh.
Okay. How to access array elements? Okay, you created array, you have assigned values for all the elements. How do you access? So this is the one. Array name, square bracket, and you give index number. Array name, square bracket, the index number. So you can give. That's how to access array elements. Anywhere this formula, you can apply this one. So this is what I told, right? So you have a integer square bracket is equal to curly bracket 12, 4, 5, 2, 5, right? So this is the array name of 0. So that means 12 you will get here. Array name of that is of 1 means this is the index numbers. All these are index numbers. You can have any value here in these, but so based on the index, you can access array elements. So you'll get all the values like this. So first element will be 12, second element will be 4, third element 5, fourth element 2, fifth element 5. So this now is of 4. See, the last element is size -1. Automatically it will take. So that's why if you don't know the size also, what you can do, you can give the here in this is dot length -1 you give. So is of square bracket. If you don't know last element index, you just give array name dot length -1. That's a property. Length is a property, instance variable. So instance variable array name dot length -1 if you give, you will get a last element index by default. You don't need to hard code if you don't know the size. So if you give like this, so you want last element index, array name square bracket, array dot length -1. Inside square bracket, you give that formula. So that's how we can access array elements. Okay, now these are the examples. So if you want, just practice, and I'll just show you some sample program how to create an array. Okay, then how to insert the values into that array, and then how to print them. How to print them with a for loop and for each loop. I'll show you that. So that's one example we can see. This is a simple array length. How can you catch it? So there is an instance variable called length. So that gives the array length, array name dot length. So basically this returns an integer. So integer len equal to array dot length. How can you get the last element position? So array name dot length -1. How can you get the particular position element? So how can you access? Basically, this is the accessing the array element. Array name of index. And so these are the exceptions when you will get. There is an exceptions class. We'll discuss that later, but I will explain it as this is the array concept. So when you will get array index out of bounds exception, we should know this. If you know the reason, you can solve the problem automatically. So the reason for this is if you give index value negative, then system will throw array index out of bounds exception. This is the one scenario. If you give or inserting an element at wrong index, maybe more than the array size, you're inserting the element, then also system will throw array index out of bounds exception. And third scenario is your array size is 0. So you don't have any elements, but still you're accessing the array elements. Maybe you're giving array of 1 and there is no, so the array of 1 element is not there and you're trying to access that, then system will throw array index out of bounds exception. These are the 3 scenarios you may get array index out of bounds exception. So then you have to take care. So while if you are getting this exception means, so make sure these 3 points you are not violating that. So you should not do these things. So don't access if the array size is 0, and so don't insert at out of boundary, and don't give index value negative. Always array index starts with a 0, so there is no negative value. If you give negative value, definitely system will throw this exception. And another one, negative array size exception. Negative array size. See that in the exception class itself telling if you give a array size negative, then this exception will be thrown to you. So see, all these exception classes is available in java.lang package. So this is the default package, right? Java.lang package. You can find that. So that's how you can store this array, negative array size exception. So this is the, so let's go and target this. We'll loop through that with different loops, normal for loop and for each loop. Both I'll show you that. So I'll show you the both ways how to iterate that. Any questions before going to the programs? Are you clear?
Yes, Ramesh.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go. So we'll create a small array, and then I'll try to iterate them, and I'll show you all this, how to create an array, how to insert the elements, then how to access them. We'll see that. So let's go to our project. This is our project. So simple array. Let's create array demo. Take the main method. If you want, you can just create the methods. So what type of methods you want me to create?
Non-static.
Non-static. Let's go and do a non-static. Access modifier. Void method I'm writing. Method name. Parenthesis. Curly bracket. Just do the logic. So use the access modifier. Private. Void. So I want to print vowels. Okay. I'll just write print vowels. So that's how I want to give my method name. So if you want to print vowels, so vowels is what kind of data type? So I'm writing array, syntax also. So data type, square bracket, array name equal to new data type, and give the size. So data type is character, right? So vowels are character data type. And array symbol, and I'm just giving array name vowels equal to new. So char, and how many vowels we have? 5, right? So this is the one thing. And so we created array. This is the array name, and you need to insert now, right? Insert the elements. How to insert the elements, or how to find the, let's find out. So find the length of array. So how can you find the length of array? Simple, you can print
Array name dot length.
vowels size is, I'll put size is, you can just give the formula
Vowels
array
dot
name
length.
dot length. So there is a length property, just give length property. So you will get automatically value. You don't need to hard code also 5. Just give this formula, you will get automatically array size. And next, insert the elements, array elements. So what is, how you can insert this? There is a syntax. So follow this syntax. Array name of index equal to element name. That's how you can assign. So use this form. So what is the array name here? Vowels.
Vowels.
0 index. First, always 0 index. So yeah. Vowels of 1 equal to E.
Vowels of 2 equal to
So 2 equal to
I. Vowels of 3 equal to
O, and
vowels of 4 equal to U.
so let's insert. Okay, so another 5th element, so 6th element also. Already 5 elements we stored, but what will happen? Let's see that. Okay, I'm just putting some element. So if you store like this, what will happen? So till this is correct, but you're inserting 6th element, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th element you're inserting. So what kind of exception you will get?
Array index out of bound exceptions.
Array index out of exception you will get. So you should not do this. So you should not do this. But let's see, I want to show that exception for you because I'm inserting an element at wrong index. So this is the point, right? We have this point. Inserting element at wrong index. So that's what I'm showing this point. Okay. And now last element index, how to find it out? So find the
dot length.
last element index. So formula, what is the formula? So int
Array name dot length minus 1.
Array name
Dot length minus
dot length
minus.
minus 1. So this is the fixed formula. So because this returns this entire expression will return integer value. So you can store that. Say int last index equal to, and array name is vowels dot length
minus.
minus. So vowels dot length -1. You can store that. So that's the array name dot length -1. Array name dot length -1. You can use that. Then, so we can iterate this. So how to iterate it? Or you want to access elements. So how can you get I? How can you access the array elements? Array name of
Array name of index.
array name of index. So what is the array name here? Vowels. For example, I want,
Vowels of 2.
so I want third element. So just third element means, so what you will get? Vowels of 2.
Two.
So vowels of 2 means you will get a I. So if you want a fourth element, you have to give array name of 3. If you want fifth element, array name of, so I can give this last index. So maybe if I want fifth element, so vowels of last index. That's it. See array name of last element index. Last element index I already calculated in the 31st line. So vowels dot length -1. Instead of writing every time this one, I stored in one local variable. That local variable I am calling here. I'm reusing this local variable here. So you can do that also. Okay, so that's the one thing. And now how to iterate array elements? So let's iterate or print array elements using for each loop. So what is the for each loop syntax? So let me write again, for each loop syntax, for bracket. So data type of the array. So variable, any variable name you can give, colon, array name, bracket. So you can give, build the logic, whatever the logic you want. You just want to print it. Or you want to do different logic, you can build logic inside this curly braces region. So I'll just follow this formula. So for, so what is the data type of our array now?
Char.
Char. Just give char. And variable names, I'll just give vowel, colon. What is the array name?
Vowels.
Vowels. That's array name. See this one, this variable name represents the one value. I just want to print, right? Just print array name. So variable, this variable name you have to give it here. So this represents the each element here. So if we rejoin back, this is going to end the session. Rejoin back, okay? So we'll continue. I'll explain again one by one. Just join back, okay?